The ugly duckling. It was a beautiful, sunny afternoon. On the banks of a serene pond, a mama duck felt her eggs begin to shake. One by one, the eggs cracked open. 4 yellow ducklings poked out their heads. Peep, peep, they said. Quack, quack, said Mama Duck. But one egg did not crack, one very big egg. Mama Duck sat on the big egg for a few more days. Finally, it cracked open. Out popped a big bird. Oh, said Mama Duck, you do not look like my other ducklings. The little yellow ducklings made fun of the new bird. You do not look like us, they said, you are big and grey. You are an ugly duckling. This made the new bird very sad. Do not look like my other ducklings, said Mama Duck, but I am your mother, and I love you. The ugly duckling looked for someone to play with. He went to the farm pond. Will you swim with me? He asked. No, said the ducklings. You are too ugly. No, said the frogs and turtles. You are an ugly duckling. Then he tried the farmyard. Will you play with me? He asked. No, no, said the horses. You are too ugly. No, said the pigs, and they laughed at him. The sad, ugly duckling went back to the farm pond. No one will play with me, he told Mama Duck. I am too ugly. You do not look like the other ducklings, said Mama Duck, but I am your mother, and I love you. But the ugly duckling was not happy. So, he flew away. Time passed, and the ugly duckling grew up. His wings were wider, his neck was longer, his feathers had turned white. He had changed, but he did not know it. Then one day, 2 big white birds flew over the pond. What beautiful birds, thought the ugly duckling. I hope they stop to visit. I am lonely. The birds flew lower and lower and landed into the pond with a splash. Hello, said the ugly duckling. Who are you? He asked. We are swans, said the big white birds, just like you. I am not a swan, said the ugly duckling. I am an ugly duckling. The swans laughed. Look down at the water. They said, what do you see? The ugly duckling looked down at the water. You are right, he cried. I am a beautiful swan. The ugly duckling was very happy to be a beautiful swan. He flew off at once to visit the farm. Hello, he said. Do you remember me? No, replied all the farm animals. I am the ugly duckling, cried the swan. The animals said, you are too beautiful to be the ugly duckling. I grew up to be a beautiful swan, he said. All the animals were happy to be with such a beautiful bird. Then the swan saw Mama Duck. Hello, I am your ugly duckling, he said. Mama Duck did not care if he was a duckling or a swan. She said, you do not look like my other ducklings, but I am your mother, and I love you. Moral of the story. Don't judge a book by its cover or treat people differently because they look different. New words. Duckling, a young duck. Poked. Pushed or stuck out or in. Cracked. Broken. Farmyard, the yard around farm buildings. Landed. Returned to a surface after a flight.